Hey everybody, my name is Brianna Latrice and I am coming on here to give you guys my ayahuasca experience. First video, bear with me so I won't have like any special effects or anything like that. But when I was getting ready to do my ayahuasca, I watched a lot of people's videos and they were very helpful. So I figured that I would just, continue this and share my experience, and hopefully it can help someone as well. So let me preface this by saying, if you are watching this video, then that means that Mother Aya has called you to her. And so, you may not do it next week, you may not do it a month from now or a year from now, but just know that Mother Aya is working within you, and you just have to sit with that, and hopefully you'll actually answer the call and do Mother Ayahuasca. So from my take on ayahuasca, first of all, just a little introduction about it. Mother Aya is what you will hear some people call her, and basically she is like the mother of truth. So a lot of people who are seeking truth and understanding and clarity about some things, she's really going to help you get down to the root of it, right? So this is like where a lot of that shadow work is done and all these great things, because Mother Aya is going to definitely help you get to the truth. And she is truly like a mother, because she's going to hit you where it hurts, and but it's the truth because it's going to hurt you, right? I always think about dang, I can't think of his name, but the song where it's like the truth will piss you off. First it'll piss you off, but then it'll set you free. And that's kind of what Mother Aya is. She's gonna tell you the truth, and then afterwards you're just gonna feel so loved after this experience, and your truth has been revealed to you. So how I got introduced to ayahuasca is, first of all, my shaman or spiritual advisor. You hear me say those same words interchangeably, but she's the same person. So my shaman, I've actually been working with her for 2 years. Of course, everybody's experience during COVID, right? So I met my shaman during COVID, and I've been rocking with her ever since. And so last year, she actually brought ayahuasca to my attention. Now, when she told me about it, she was like, you're not ready for ayahuasca yet. However, again, like I just shared with you, that's when Mother Aya was introduced to me. And I had been thinking about her ever since. And so it had been sitting with me. And then a couple of months back, I experienced something in my life, and it was just like, it just hit me hard, and I could not let this go. And so she was like, you know what? I'm okay with you doing ayahuasca now. I think it's time. But again, for 2 years, I have been doing my Reiki sessions with her. For the most part, I'm going to say faithfully. I might have missed a couple of months. At first, I started going like bi-weekly, and then I started going monthly. So for 2 years, I've been doing Reiki sessions faithfully with my shaman. And now she felt like, okay, it's a good time for you to do ayahuasca. I do want to say this one thing, y'all. I purposely wore makeup for this video because I think that sometimes we put people in a box of like who are on their spiritual journey, like they just look all natural and all that stuff. Now I don't wear makeup every day, and I am natural. I am very cautious about what I put into my body and things like that. But I really feel like it's important too to understand that like you can be on your healing journey and still love a B-face. Yeah, I'm gonna let that sit right there. Okay, so yes, let's see, back to the healing journey. So leading up to ayahuasca, you have to do what they call a dieta, and I'm actually going to do a separate video on that. But basically, it's just like a plant-based diet. And so as you're doing the dieta, something else that you want to make a note of is that you're not only paying attention to the food that you're putting in your body, but you're also paying attention to everything, your eye gates, your ear gates, and everything. So I had to really limit and manage. Luckily, I don't watch a lot of TV, but I just watched a lot of light shows. I didn't watch things with killing and murder. I remember during this time I went to go see Black Adam, but I was like, well, I'll go see it after because I know it has a lot of fighting and things. And it's just very important because your spirit is going to be open during this time. And so you just want to make sure that, you know, everything is pure. So I watched like just a lot of comedy shows and funny things. Hard for me. I love trap music. So I did not listen to any of that. I listened to very soft acoustic jazz type of music and things like that. You know, like maybe some neo soul, my Jill Scotts and stuff like that. So just know that it's not also about what you're putting in your body food wise, but also what you're giving to your energy. And then of course about 24 hours leading up to it, well, 24 hours leading up to it, no social media, right? The day of ayahuasca, you should not eat after 1 p.m., right? You'll hear a lot of people say that. Don't eat after 1 p.m. and just continue to intake your fluids. Well, for me, I was just really wanting to get this great experience. And I did mine the Saturday of Thanksgiving. So yeah, I was doing this diet and I could not partake in the feast with my family and friends. Now, definitely gonna do ayahuasca again. However, I will not do it during Thanksgiving because I wanted to chow down and I could not. But I felt like that was important for me because it showed how devoted and committed I was to this. And I had to really show that discipline to not actually go in and eat those foods. So I thought that that just really prepared me even more for Mother Aya. And so leading up to Mother Aya, what I'm putting in, all that type of stuff, music, Instagram, yes. So day of, you're not supposed to eat till after 1 o'clock. However, like I said, I really wanted to be serious about this experience and really get the answers that I needed. And so I made a decision. I woke up that morning and I did a cacao session with myself just to go ahead and set those intentions, get clarity, get my mind right, get everything prepared. And then after that, I just did water. I didn't do any food the day of ayahuasca for me. Now, that's just totally optional. Just know about after 1 o'clock, you don't eat. Now, I want to say this. Ayahuasca is not something that you do like because your boyfriend broke up with you and you want to know why he broke up with you. No, Mother Aya is going to help you get down to the root of things, right? And so you really want to set those intentions, and you don't have to necessarily go in with a list of so many intentions of what you're wanting, because just know that whatever you think you're going in there with is not going to be that. So my thing was, I had 3 questions, but I literally only asked one because Mother Aya worked with me on this one. And then it basically expanded and gave me clarity on really how I've been living my life. And so my question was, what is the root of my self-hate in? Like, why don't I truly love myself? Why don't I see, me? Why do I have so much shame? But what is the root of where the lack of self-love is for me? That was the first question I asked. So day of ayahuasca, get there. I chose to do rapé or hape, however you want to say it. And basically what rapé is, I say rapé. What rapé is it's a shamanic snuff. And so it's like a tobacco base, but it's not the tobacco that you guys are thinking here in the Americas. This has been used in shamanic practices for years. But basically what Rapé does is it really elevates your meditative state. It calms your body and it helps you to go deeper so that you can actually tap more into your subconscious to get some of those answers that you've been looking for. I've done Rapé several times, so that's not nothing new to me. I often do it when I am wanting to go deeper in my Reiki sessions with my spiritual advisor. So I told her that, hey, I also want to do Rapé on top of the ayahuasca. Great. So did Rapé. Now, when you do Rapé, it's probably about the size of a pea, as much as, because and it also has a mixture of herbs and things like that. So it's a plant, like it's a plant-based medicine and things like that. And so it's in a powder form, but your shaman will only take maybe about the size of a pea, and they'll put it in this V-shaped type thing, I don't know, and then they'll insert it into your nostrils, and then they will give a nice blow, and then it will go into you. And what it's doing is it's going into your bloodstreams, and it's giving you like this boost of energy but calmness. Super painful, I ain't gonna lie to you. It feels like your whole body is burning, but it's a beautiful experience. It's one of those necessary pains, I like to say. But so this particular time did my Rapé, and you guys, like I said, I've done Rapé several times, but this particular time it was like so powerful. And when it went into me this time, I started in my mother's womb. I kid you not. I could feel myself and I could see myself in my mother's womb in the fetal position. I could hear the vibration of everything that she was talking about. I could see everything she was seeing. And it kind of weirded me out because I'm like, I've taken Rapé several times. Why am I going and having this experience? Like, why is this so deep? But yeah, I thought that was beautiful, right? And I'm going to circle back around to that, but just know that's how it started for me. When I got that Rapé, it was me in my mother's womb. I could feel the vibration of her voice. I could see what she was seeing and everything. Like, I literally saw myself as an embryo. It was freaking bananas. So then she was like, my shaman was like, I'm gonna give you time to just kind of breathe, get yourself together. So at this point in time, I'm just getting myself together. One of the things that I had been really working on was saying, I release and I surrender to Mother Ayahuasca. So at this time, I just worked on my breathing and was just telling Mother Ayahuasca that I release everything and I'm getting ready to receive her. So before we start the ceremony, we acknowledge and give and pay respect to our ancestors. So we pour out water to our ancestors, and then we call in any of those energies that we want to be here with us in our healing session. I called in 2 particular people. One being my grandma, of course, and then I did call in one of my good friends who has passed away. And so I called in those 2 to be with me, and then my shaman, she called in people to be with her. And then we spoke our intentions over this, asked our people that we called in to be with us for this healing, and asked our ancestors to be here with us for this healing. So you don't take much of ayahuasca. It's probably like a shot glass. So it's about this much. So you take the brew, and your spiritual advisors, they will take it as well. They won't take as much as you do, but they're taking it as well because you're going to be, if you're able to receive this, that's it. That's all I'm gonna say. If you're able to receive this, they are going to be going into these different orbits with you, and so they take it as well. So took the first brew. I'm laying down, I'm on my back. And I had been watching several videos where people were like, they were hallucinating and things like that. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna watch this light. And if the light started doing crazy stuff, then that's how I know that Mother Aya is in me, because now I'm hallucinating. And so I'm watching this light, nothing's happening. So anyways, about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And here's the thing, time means nothing when you're doing ayahuasca. Like, I don't even know how long passed from the first sip or the first brew that I took. I don't know. It seems like it was going so freaking fast, but I don't know. So take my second brew, because my spiritual advisor was like, do you feel anything yet? And so, like I said, it must have been about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I was like, no, I don't feel anything. So take the second brew, and she's like, do you feel anything after a certain amount of time? Again, I don't know what time the time lapse between these events. And so I'm like, no. And so in my mind, I'm like, dang, am I that messed up? Am I that messed up? I think I beat Mother Aya. Like, I'm literally like in my mind thinking, yo, I have beat Mother Ayahuasca. Apparently I have so many deep-rooted issues that even Mother couldn't come and work through me. So that's what I'm thinking, right? So then my shaman gets up and she gets her drum, and she just starts beating her drum, in different beats and in different melodies. Every time she beat that drum, I could feel something in me, the vibration in me, like it was just stirring something up in me. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And so it started to feel really good to me. And I wasn't really doing much at this time, but I could feel it. And at this point in time, I was laying on my left side because I finally told my shaman that I'm starting to feel nauseous. So she was like, that's good. Lay on your left side, it'll help. So at this point, I'm laying on my bed on my left side, and she's just beating this drum. And as I'm on my side, I'm like, okay, cool. Hold on, y'all. My battery is about to go dead on my laptop. I knew I wouldn't. No, it's fine. I am prepared. Okay, sorry, y'all. I had to plug up my stuff for my lighting, so my lighting wouldn't go dead. But she started to beat the drum. I started to feel on this drum. Okay, y'all, sorry about that. My lights went off, so I had to start over and get my lights together. Anywho, so beating the drum, I'm on my left side, and I'm feeling this every single time she's beating the drum. It's like it's penetrating through my entire body. So then she stops beating the drum, and in my mind, I'm like, why did she stop that? That felt so amazing. Why did she stop that? And so then she started to sing, and she started to call in Mother Ayahuasca in this song. And this is when the stuff gets real. She started to call in Mother Aya, and she was just saying, you know, Mother Aya, I feel you all over me. I feel you in my feet. And then I started to make this really weird noise. It was like, mm, mm, like I literally started to make that. And then crazy. And here's the thing. You have no control over what you're doing, what you're saying, but you're so aware of everything that's happening. So in my mind, I'm like, this is a really weird noise that I'm making, but I'm making this noise. And so, like I said, I'm making a noise, and it's like, and then I started to convulse, like my entire, and I felt it first in my feet. So I first felt it in my feet. And my feet just started to shake uncontrollably. And then it literally moved up from my feet all the way through my body, from my legs, to where I just literally started shaking. And I'm like nervous. I'm like, oh, what is going on? I'm like, what is going on? And so I'm just convulsing and everything. And so for a while, I was just kind of staying in this space, right? And then my shaman was like, you're here for the truth. So you gotta go to the darkness, ask your question. What is your question? So again, I asked my question, which is, what is my self-hate rooted in? What is that rooted in? And so I asked the question, and after I asked the question, I went into this imagery of me, like surrounded by fire in the dark, and then 7 black jaguars came up. And the 7 black jaguars surrounded me. And so I have my spear up, and I'm like circling and looking at them with my spear up. And in my mind, I'm like, I know that I'm going to defeat these jaguars, but I can't. I'm trying to play it in my mind like, okay, how am I going to defeat these jaguars? But I can't figure it out. And so after that, I'm just there, and like I said, I'm looking at these jaguars. And so the number 7 is also significant to me. So it stuck with me during this time, because prior to this, well, actually, I'll take that back. Now that I think about it, like when I was younger and stuff, and in athletics, I always wanted the number 7. So that's a revelation I just had. That's kind of interesting. But 7, so when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is important. This has some relevance. 7. And so then again, like I said, your shamans and them, they're going in and out of these orbits with you. So they're helping to guide you. And so she said, go to it. Go to the dark. So I'm like, show me where this is rooted in. Show me what this is rooted in. Y'all, I literally was laying down, and I literally just like got on my knees and on my arms, and I just put my head, and I started screaming. And I said, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. But I'm like, tears are flowing, and I'm crying, and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, because what was revealed to me about where my self-hate was rooted in is crazy. And it's so crazy because this experience that was revealed to me. So let me go back to this. So I'm like, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. And then it shows it to me, right? I literally grab my bucket, because they will give you a bucket because you will be purging. You can purge through burping, throwing up, going to the restroom, all of that type of stuff. Mine was throwing up. I grabbed my bucket, and I just started to throw up. And this throw up, you ain't ate nothing, so you're not really throwing up food or anything like that. And it hurts. it hurts. And it's one of those things where in my mind, I was excited because I knew what this meant. It meant that I was getting rid of a lot of this trauma that I had built up in my womb for years. But at the same time, it hurt so bad. It's like it just burns, and you knew when it was coming. You knew when it was coming. And you just had to brace yourself and just allow your body. Like, I didn't even have to do anything. I was just like this and just hanging over the bucket. And then when it would come, I would just open up my mouth, and it was coming out of my mouth. It was coming out of my nose. It was burning. And I remember looking at my spiritual advisor saying, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. And she was like, I know, baby, but it's healing, but it's healing. And it's so crazy because what was shown to me, there's an image in my conscious life that I always go to, and I always ask myself, how come I don't remember anything prior to that? I only remember after that. And what it has shown me was I had totally disconnected from my body so that I couldn't remember this traumatic experience that happened to me. When I tell y'all I had no clue, I always question, why did this happen to other people in my family and not me? I literally had disconnected myself from this trauma. So crazy. But I knew it to be true because it took me to that one space where I always remembered, where I could remember. And that was after the event had happened. And then I was connecting back to my body. So now I know where my trauma is. And now I'm in this space of shaming people, judging people. And my shaman was like, don't judge. Don't judge. You're not here to judge. You're here to get the truth. Don't judge. And she loves to say, judging is above our pay grade. We don't have time to judge. We're here to get the truth for us. So then I had to just forgive them. And so then what the 7 jaguars meant. The 7 jaguars symbolized 7 things or 7 traumas in my life that I had totally disconnected from. And not all 7. Some of the 7 I have remembered, but I've just pushed them so far back that I've never even talked about them to anybody. So the 7 traumas signified the 7 jaguars signified the 7 traumas that I had experienced. And in each trauma, I had to ask them why. I had to ask them why. Why did they do what they did to me? Because here's the thing. At the beginning, I was angry and I was mad. And my shaman would say, anger doesn't solve. Forgiveness and love solves all. And so I remember, like, I'm a genuinely nice person. And I remember when I was angry at one of the jaguars, or the people rather, and I was just in my shaman was like, not anger, not anger. And I remember looking at her like, so you don't want me to be mad? You telling me you don't want me to be mad? And I'm like laughing, and I'm like, y'all, she don't want me to be mad. This is crazy, And she was like, you can be hurt by it, and but you can't have that anger living in you. And that's what it was all that anger that was coming out of me. And here's why it's so important to have a shaman that you trust, is because the reality is that you got demons coming out of you. And you're going into dark spaces. And if you don't have a shaman who is powerful, genuine enough, and who is representation of light, then they could take you into some even deeper dark spaces, even when you come out of ayahuasca and you're trying to integrate back into this world that you now know the truth about. So I am very a stickler for make sure that you know and have a relationship with your shaman, because that is very important, at least for me. And also, you're going to have some traumas coming up, and you may not feel comfortable, sharing some of this stuff that you've done in your lifetime with anybody else that you don't really know. So I will say that I'm going to place my shaman's information in the body of this video for sure. But yes, that's what that is. I'll say this too. Every time I got ready to go into a deeper problem, or to go to another jaguar and see what that beast was for me, I would start humming. And I was like just humming. And that now shows me like that's a way that that's a trauma response for me, is like I hum to try to disconnect myself from the feeling or the thought or whatever. So every time I started humming uncontrollably, I knew that it was time. And a lot of times my shaman would be like, don't do that. You know, just go to it, go to it. Cause I would stay into that humming too long, but it was because I didn't want to go into it. I went through so many different orbits, you guys. I got to see that I was a slave at one point in time. And in slavery, one of the things that I did to survive was I sung. So I was in the house because I sung. And like, if you're able to receive it, but I saw that. And then one of the times, I had to go to the restroom. So my shaman guided me to the restroom. She waited for me after, and then she had her arm out for me to grab it. So I grabbed it. And then it was like, just close your eyes. You need to learn how to trust. And so when I closed my eyes and she was guiding me, it showed me that in one lifetime I was blind and I had no sight. And it showed me how I would sit down on the floor and I would sing. And I would just be, and that would bring me comfort knowing that in my next lifetime that I would have sight. And then my old blind self started to thank my current new self for having the vision of sight. And it wasn't necessarily talking about this physical sight, but it was talking about the sight of awareness and giving myself the opportunity to go through this journey in this ayahuasca experience. And so, every jaguar. And here's the thing too. Once you ask whatever your trauma is, why they did what they did to you or what that's rooted into, you're going to get your answers. And I remember asking one of my jaguars, why did you do this to me? And then it was revealed to me. And I remember looking up at my shaman, like crying. And then I covered my mouth and I was like, and I started to tell her. And then she looked at me and she said, every monster has a monster. That's it. And that's just so, and so that's what she reminded me is now you need to go back to each of your jaguars. Tell them that you forgive them. Tell them that you love them and that you are here for them. And so I did that with each one. And that's how I was able to forgive them. And then it shows me as I'm winding down this experience, I now see me. I'm in this beautiful gown, like my body is banging. It's like a cut all the way up to the top of my thigh. And I'm walking back into the city and these 7 black jaguars are following behind me. And all these people are just marveling at me and why. Like they're wondering and they're questioning, how did this girl slay these 7 jaguars? And in my mind, I'm thinking they really thought I fought these jaguars. And the way in which I was able to now gain control of these jaguars is through forgiveness and love. And so it was just a great and amazing and beautiful experience. And I even, again, when I was in ayahuasca, I went through the orbit of being in my mother's womb again and things like that. And here's the thing. All of our mothers have trauma. That's the reality of it. And that's the culprit too of when we're born with some of their trauma because they carried us and they have trauma in their womb, right? And so it all kind of full circle to show like even in birth, you were carrying some of the traumas that your mother carried. And I just remember when you get to ayahuasca, she's going to reveal so much truth to you that one of the things that my shaman told me even prior to going into ayahuasca that I didn't fully understand was she was like, what you see and what Mother Ayahuasca shows you is not up to you to go back and tell everybody else. So one of the reasons why I am not sharing everything that I saw is because it involves people and names and things like that. And if I were to then go and tell these people what I saw and all of this, well, then now I'm disrupting the flow of them being able to get to go through the journey that they're supposed to be going to. So even though too, that when Mother Ayahuasca is so powerful that she's going to be revealing to you a lot outside of you that you're going to see that how it all connects and shapes you. And it's not up to you coming out of ayahuasca to go and tell people, this is what I saw. This is what was revealed to me. Because the stuff is heavy, y'all. The stuff is heavy. And so once I was finally able to fall asleep, I woke up, I became obsessed with jaguars and the number 7. I looked up all of that stuff. And here's the thing I will say to keep this video short and simple. It is a painful experience, but it is a beautiful, absolutely beautiful experience. One thing I do want to share too is like, I was asking ayahuasca, well, how did I disconnect? Show me how I disconnected. You guys, I literally could not feel my legs. And then it was like my whole body started to sink into the bed. And then all noise. I couldn't hear any noise. It was like pure silence, as if I were deaf or something. And I'm present and I'm like, I know but it was showing me like, this is how I disconnected, is that I totally shut down. I could not feel anything. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't hear anything. And so in my body, I remember just feeling in so much pain, you guys. Like I was in so much pain. But again, ayahuasca is a beautiful, beautiful experience. It is a beautiful experience. If you're thinking about it, I recommend that you go forth and you do it. I got so many answers that really helped me understand who I am now, why I make the decisions that I make, why I make the choices that I make. And I'm just so thankful for it. And you will have ebbs and flows coming out of ayahuasca. So my shaman, she works with me now to help me get integrated back into the realm of things, because I've had really great days, but then I've had some really low days. And that's what your shaman will do too, is teach you and help you how to get reintegrated back into the world. But I will say this, coming out of ayahuasca, you are so freaking powerful. There's been so many things within my life after ayahuasca that has just shown me that I am so powerful, and I am so excited for it. So I would say if you're considering it, definitely go forth and do it. I support you 100%. If you have any other further questions for me, I will put my email down here in the description box. But also I'm going to, again, put my shaman's website information. You can actually go do a free 30-minute consultation with her, and she'll kind of give you the rundown of ayahuasca, see if you're ready and what that looks like. Or if you're just interested in doing some Reiki sessions, you can do that as well. Peace and blessings to you all. I hope you all have an amazing day. Love you. Bye-bye.